is WhisperSister, and this video is a whisper rune reading for the Whispering Rebel. It's just meant to be overall general guidance, and hopefully it'll offer something worth thinking about and a little bit of insight that'll be helpful to you. So, yeah, you didn't mention a specific issue or anything, which is fine. So I'm just gonna draw the 3 stones and read the interpretations and probably leave it at that unless something pops into my head that I think might be relevant, but I don't really know, I don't know you obviously, so I'm just gonna hope that the stones that I pick end up being useful to you in some way. Okay, so oops. Maybe that's it. Sure, why not? Okay. Usually I take the ones that feel different, but that one fell out, so that'll be the first one. Oh, there's the second one right here. Okay, so this is your overview. Challenge. And then this is your action called for. Cool. That's a good one. Well, they're all good ones, but alrighty, so here's your reading. Okay, so your overview is a reversed rune. So I'm going to read the upright interpretation and then the reversed interpretation. So basically, the upright interpretation basically indicates, hang on a second, I'm holding the camera really weird. Sorry, try not to make too much noise. Okay. Did I zoom in? Yep. Okay. Alright, so the upright reading indicates something that is sort of going on in a situation, but then when you read the reverse reading, it'll show you what might be at play that's kind of blocking your experience of the upright reading. So here is the upright reading for this one. It is the rune is called Uruz, and it's strength. Okay, the rune of terminations and new beginnings. Drawing Uruz indicates that the life you have been living has outgrown its form. That form must die so that new energy can be released in a new form. This is a rune of passage, and as such, part of the cycle of initiation. Positive growth and change, however, may involve a descent into darkness as part of the cycle of perpetual renewal. As in nature, this progression consists of 5 aspects: death, decay, fertilization, gestation, and rebirth. Events occurring now may well prompt you to undergo a death within yourself. Since self-change is never coerced, we are always free to resist. Remain mindful that the new life is always greater than the old. Prepare then for opportunity disguised as loss. It could involve the loss of someone or something to which you have an intense emotional bond, and through which you are living a part of your life, a part that must now be retrieved so you can live it for yourself. notice that your soul and the universe support the new growth. Okay, so that's, I guess kind of, it's almost like when you get a reversed reading, it's almost like you've got a choice to make, or it's showing you the two potential sides to the same situation, and kind of points out a need for caution sometimes. So, you'll see what I mean. This is actually a really good illustration of that, because this reversed reading really points out how, how that could be, I guess, blocked or passed over, potentially. So, Uru's reversed. Without ears to hear and eyes to see, you may fail to take advantage of the moment. The result could well be an opportunity missed or the weakening of your position. It may seem that your own strength is being used against you. For some, Uru's reversed will serve to alert, offering clues in the form of minor failures and disappointments. For others, those more deeply unconscious or aware, it may provide a hard jolt. Reversed, this rune calls for serious thought about the quality of your relationship to yourself. But take heart. Consider the constant cycling of death and rebirth, the endless going and return. Everything we experience has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and is followed by a new beginning. Therefore, do not draw back from the passage into darkness. When in deep water, become a diver. I love getting this rune, actually. I've had this one before. I've heard that line, when in deep water, become a diver. I've gotten that quite a few times in the last year since I've been doing these. And it's usually when I'm in the middle of a challenge that I know on one level is absolutely necessary for my growth, but on another level is, unpleasant and scary, and I start to panic, and I want to kind of back out and make things more safe by not taking risks, or by shutting somebody out, for example, if I'm, in a conflict with someone, rather than facing it, and that's when I get this rune, and it's kind of like, at least in the past when I've gotten this, it's been at times when I needed that little bit of encouragement, that even when things are difficult, it doesn't mean that things are going wrong, and that sometimes you just have to go deeper into it, knowing that it's gonna, it'll cause a change in you, so that you'll be better off in the end, even though it's not always pleasant to go through it. So anyway, that's definitely what it's meant for me at times when I've drawn this rune. I'm not sure if that applies to you at all, but hopefully it does. Okay, so that is your overview of where you're at. Your challenge is, it's called Awaz. This guy here. And it's movement. Oh man. I hope this reading is relevant too, because I can kind of see what they're trying to say, and I know I've gone through I've probably had this exact same reading, and if you can see it through to the end, it's a pretty amazing process. Okay. Movement. Awaz is a rune of transition. Transition. Jeez, okay. Awaz is a rune of transit, transition, and movement, of physical shifts, new dwelling places, new attitudes, or new life. It also signifies movement in the sense of improving or bettering any situation. There is about this rune a sense of gradual development and steady progress, with the accompanying notion of slow growth through numerous shifts and changes. This could apply to the growth of a business, or to the is a new clarity which may call for you to renounce existing plans, ambitions, and goals. It is proper and timely for you to do so, for Wunjo is a rune of restoration of the self, properly aligned with the self. Once again. Okay, so now, not knowing anything about the specifics of your situation, and I could be totally off base, but if I was getting this reading, this is how I would interpret it. It's a pretty clear message and a pretty encouraging one, actually. If you are struggling at the moment with anything in your life, what it seems to me is that these are saying, just stick through it, you know. If you're faced with the urge to flee from something, or, you know, retreat and, I don't want to say take the easy way out, as in, because that sounds a bit judgmental, like you're being, you know, lazy or cowardly, but, you know, it's a lot of the times it's counterintuitive to push further into a situation that seems unpleasant or, you know, painful, but sometimes that's exactly what you need to do to learn the lesson that's being offered and come out the other side a lot stronger and a lot clearer. And to me that sounds like what this is saying. If there's something going on in your life that is causing you to, get scared and want to back off, it seems like